What's up? I'm back. So I have not been, it's been like a month, maybe a little bit longer. I think the last thing I did was just some of the lowering block stuff, which is just, adding some information to the website. But patina car is behind me right there. I put that traction bar sensor in that thing, trying to figure out how much kind of pressure, how much load, right? So if we make some adjustments, can we see that in terms of the pressure? Well, we put a 1500 PSI sensor in it and it just taxes that thing instantly, right? Like in the data log, it just looks digital. It's just on or off, right? So it's straight 1500 or off is, that's the skew. So I got a 5000 PSI sensor now. That's what I'm here to do right now. It's like Sunday afternoon. There's a Barona race on Saturday night, and I just want to start, keep on getting some hits in this thing. I drove it around a bunch last weekend. It was 90 something, pretty warm. I had my headset, which was rad. It made it a lot more tolerable. But I was idling in traffic, cruising around town. Had to go get some stuff for my nephew's birthday. So yeah, it worked out pretty good. I think this car is really coming along as far as it being drag and drive worthy. I know that I really want to have this thing. I really want to go to Streetcar Super Nationals. We've got a bunch of buddies that are going to go. It should be good. And I want to drive it there. So it's 350 miles or something like that to Vegas. Maybe it's 310 miles. I don't know. It's something along those lines. It's 300 plus miles. So drive it there. Hopefully, with the new motor that's going together with Buzz. Boy, Buzz is putting together a 417 all aluminum long block deal for this thing. So better heads, better, you name it, everything. So it should be a badass piece. So I'm really excited to get that motor. So drive it from here, Streetcar Super National. So, and then hopefully it'll go, I really want this thing to be able to run a 7, so like a good 7, not a 799, like 760s or something like that. So this thing should be bitching. So yeah, okay, let's go. I figured the other thing I would do is I got it up in the air. I would double check things. Ironically, we've got the compression set at 9. Rebound set at 11, and I've made this. My brother wrote that down before we went to Las Vegas, and we thought we were loosening. Evidently we weren't. So they're not looser than they were. So this is always something like you should double check stuff, right? Like start looking at things. So I thought I loosened that thing up 4 turns. Evidently I didn't, because I just cycled through it, and yeah, that was not the case. So I need to double check with him and make sure that he was going from full tight or full loose. So, we need to look at that and see what's up. So, but this is like all stuff that you should be looking at. So just looking at my uniballs here, nothing's binding. All the bolts are still tight. It's a great little trick right here. You could just put a little dab of this little paint grease, guys. So, for sure that those are still tight. All the jam nuts on these rod ends are still good to go. Looking at there was a little bit of fuzz on the transmission, but it's got some miles on it. We've been driving it more than less. There is a little bitty oil leak right here, which I think is just from the valley tray, so we'll have to take care of that. And it also most definitely has an oil seal leak right here, so that's what it's on the rack for to fix right there. Both sides, I feel like we just didn't silicone them or something. I don't know. Who knows? Make excuses for it later. There's that sensor in the traction bar. So I just ordered this wheelie bar pressure sensor thing. It's in the other video, and just adapted it, changed this bung to a 5/8, which adapted that. So I'm going to put the 5000 in this unit right here, fix this oil seal leak right there. And yeah, so I'm also going to call Calvert this week and figure out, so this is a S10 front segment, has the 2.5-inch pin width at the front, and also has is a Berlin style eyelet. Everything looks great. Everything is sweet. But what I'm hoping for is that I moved basically I made this distance from here to here longer than what a stock Chevy 2 is. So I've lengthened that out. I'm going to put it all together, give you all the details and all the notes. I've got 4 adjustment holes here. I started off 1 hole up higher here. And that is why you can see my pinion angle is not super duper happy. This thing vibrates at like 30 miles an hour and also vibrates at like 140 miles an hour. So I don't know how much negative that is, but is way too much. So I'm gonna need to do a little repair on that, which I'm going to. Back to my blabbing. The spring deal, I'm hoping or be able to order a front segment that's longer so I can get some overlap here. And then I'm hoping that I can ditch this secondary spring. So this is a Chevy 2 back spring, and this is believe it or not, a Silverado 1500 spring that we've chopped up. We ended up having to do this much on that back segment as we got more and more weight in the back of the car. It just would not hold itself up. So that's what happened there. Little details like this little 1/4-inch wheel spacer made the difference to get the tire clearance just optimum. People ask me a lot, the slider bodies are intentionally wider. This is actually an old school body. You can see that this is still a 3-piece body. We make them all now 1 piece. But there is intentionally, I try to leave 60 thousandths gap in here to make sure that there isn't a bunch of friction in between the spring or in between the bushing and the side of the body. So this is what helps it to make sure it moves nice and smooth. You have seen the videos that I've posted of driving this car around. It drives really, really nice. So you can totally have a little gap right here and have no ill effects as far as cornering and driving is concerned. Like I think the last video that I posted on my Instagram, I was driving the windy road back to my house at 40, 45 miles an hour. Like I was driving the speed limit like it was a regular car. So that was just a little side note on that. I've got those brackets up there on the top. So what I'm thinking about doing to try to, it's going to do 2 things. I'm going to adjust the pinion angle because I'm going to put this bolt hole back up 1 hole right there. I'm going to go up a hole there, 1 inch, and I'm going to come down 1 inch back here, which as you can imagine will take and rock the pinion angle up, but it's also going to make the instant center 1 inch higher. So what I'm going to do today is fix this oil leak on both sides of this unit and put that sensor in, and then I'm going to go zero out all my data this weekend at Verona. Hopefully just get some nice mid 560 passes like I did the last time I was there, get some pressure sensor settings that hopefully work. I would like to drop this down to here as well and see if that makes any difference at all. My gut says that if it maxes the 5,000 PSI sensor out where it is, we'll never know because I don't know what to do after that. I'm also going to add a laser ride height sensor right here so we can kind of analyze tire tire squish. And also I had a thought about making a bracket to bring it up here and aim the laser straight up. That way we could evaluate when we let go of the trans brake, how much does this actually roll? So like there's all this talk about how much angle we're gonna put in it, 2 degrees down, 4 degrees down, right? And I'm talking about in reference to equal opposite, right? That's my reference point. So how much below that equal opposite line should we be? So if I put a laser ride height sensor aimed up, then I could technically see at the release of the trans brake, should be able to see if that distance gets shorter, do the trig, and then evaluate how much angle change that is. And then also, as the suspension separates, I'll know how much it separates because I have a shock sensor. So I can evaluate, hey, this the relationship between the shock sensor is here and the laser ride height sensor is here. We can know that there's no differential angle difference, right? Or angle differential, I should say. And so then as this thing's going down track, we can kind of see, yeah, dude, that thing's got a whole bunch of angle in it, or yeah, no, it really doesn't. So that's going to be something that I would like to check and see what's going on and kind of get some data on that. So yeah, I'm going to pop a couple things apart, probably tag in a couple little pieces of this video, but this is kind of where I'm headed. I'm hoping to get some good information on this thing this Saturday. And then I want to change the spring thing, try to get that figured out, because this is just extra weight. Like I really want to get rid of this extra weight. The car is heavier than I was hoping. So the aluminum block will help with that. No intercooler, doing a dual fuel injector fuel rail setup on it. So we'll do methanol and gas. Obviously we get to get rid of all these intercooler hoses, all that good stuff. So, okay, well, I'm going to turn this thing around and get to work. So keep watching. So this confirms it. You can see some oil right there. There's like no, when we put this together, it probably just got put together. Like maybe some silicone got put on it, but maybe not. It kind of looks like it's a little on the thin side. As a side note, Quick Performance 40 spline axles. These guys always do me solid. I love using them. Big shout out to them. Thank you guys. You should always get this access hole. It makes it so easy to grab those bolts right down there to take the housing end off. It's great. These little T-bolts from Strange are great, and they always have the 7/16 headed NAS bolt right there. That is super easy to make it. Makes it super easy to take the brakes off. And then this is just a 2-inch stud, and we're running obviously the rotor hat right there. I think measures right at a 1/4 inch. It's 1/4 inch or 300 thousandths. Plus we've got the 1/4 inch spacer to get us dialed in there, and we don't have to use an outside washer out here. It's really nice. It fits just right. And this is that 30/30 auto sport wheel, so you can see the depth there. So if you ever wonder about getting a 2-inch or a 3-inch stud, so having the 2-inch stud makes it so you don't have to get the wheel out as far to get it off the studs. Imagine there's a whole nother inch of this. This would make this a pain in the ass. What worked out super cool is that you can actually just take these wheels off this car. The spring has so much droop, and the shock doesn't limit it. It's awesome. It makes it so you can just take the wheels off. So this thing is a Chevy 2 that fits a 14-inch wheel with 295s that we could also, like on drag and drive, we could have some street tires for it. So I'm super, super excited about that. That's really cool. So, okay, continuing on. Oh yeah, so I confirmed this. There's absolutely, we didn't put not a drop of silicone on there. And I bought these axles quite a while ago. That is not, there we go. Oh, much better. That's not, that's grease. That's not, there's no silicone on this. And you can actually see these axles sat around for probably 2 years in the box. We did this car a long time ago and then just never did anything with it because we did the blue one. And so that O-ring's a little on the dry side. So we're going to tune that up. You can see there's the paint grease on those studs too. I really should have probably got these things gun drilled. I bet I could save some weight there. That might have to be a future mat upgrade. Also, this is an older school Rhodes housing. Back in the day, we used to get the parts from them and put them together ourselves to our specs. You know, now we do our whole thing. So I'm not sure if I'm that motivated, but guess we'll see what happens. So, okay, continuing. Okay, so yeah, got this clean. Just some regular old Napa brake clean, towel, clean it off. It's nice and dry. There's no oil there anymore. So lube up that O-ring with some Permatex Ultra Gray. Doesn't need to be a ridiculous amount, but I definitely don't want it to leak because I don't want to do this again. And it's annoying because it makes the backs of the wheels super gross and there's some dirt in there. It's not like it was leaking out on the ground. If it sat for a second, it would, but it wasn't like an issue of it like spraying out all over the place, but you could see how gross all that is. I mean, it's just bleh, nasty. All right, so all back together. I think I'm all into this, like with shooting and talking and reshooting and re-talking, like 45 minutes or an hour. It's definitely pretty easy. It's nice. This car is actually pretty easy to work on. It's really nice, man. With the wheels being able to come off, like it's so not torturous like it was on the other ones. The blue car sucked to get the wheels on and off, and then my old orange Chevy 2 was awful. You'd have to take the anti-roll bar link off, take the shock off, all that stuff. So another little tech tip I figured I would touch base on is, so my house, these old Rhodes housings that I used to make, and my new housings there's an inner bulkhead in here, and then there's this outer bulkhead right where the tube slides in. I always put this breather guy right there because it won't, if you put it in the cap, like so many times I've seen where they put them in the cap because they forgot, and it just splashes oil right out, like it goes out like crazy. So in between those two bulkheads, like it's way above the oil line, so it'll breathe good, and then just a nice 1/8 inch MPT tap will take care of that. Push lock hose, and then this is a little Tanks
breather, and it works really good. We've had super good luck with doing it that way. So as you can see, it's not wet. There's no oil coming out of it. Not like the unsiliconed in axle seals. So yeah, this thing's wrapped up. I'm gonna change that sensor next and drive this thing, and I can't wait to make the video next weekend, man. Hopefully I can get some good data out of this thing. It's gonna be great.
All right, so we wrapped this thing up. At the beginning of the video, I was talking about the shock thing where I thought that I'm like, oh, it looks like I've maybe been turning it the wrong way based on the numbers that are written on the shock. No, I just bottomed them out the wrong way. I went full loose when we should have been going full tight. Let me clarify. The number that's written on the shock is going full tight and then backing it out the number of clicks. Well, we did in fact loosen it the number of clicks that we thought. When at this beginning of this video, when I was playing with the shocks, I backed it out full loose and then counted in, and it just so happened to be the same number because it's an uneven amount of clicks. Hopefully that makes sense when you're following with that. So when you are, if you're gonna write the number down and you're gonna make sure that you're trying to hit your, trying to make sure that you're consistent, make sure both sides are the same, I suggest going from full tight. So bottom it out, full tight, and then back up. So if you have a sand tuff, that's how you have to do it, right? Like that's in the instructions. So you full tight, back it up. So I did in fact clarify that with my brother. So that's good to go. So we're happy with the front shock setting. We're happy with the back shock setting. This configuration went 130 with a 5 and 60 foot at Verona. So maybe the track will be a little better this weekend. I don't know. I feel like this thing is like at this spot where it'll make like 25 pounds of boost in right around a second. And that's just too quick. Like 1.3, 1.4 seconds seems to be where it needs to be. And so I think I'm going to just leave my 131 or 132 60 foot boost map in it. And I'm just going to tinker with the timing a little bit and see if I can't throw just a little bit of timing in. It's 30 feet in or something like that, and get this thing to go 129.9 60 foot, just like I said I did it. So, but yeah, so the goal for this weekend, I got this oil leak fixed, which I'm super happy about. We got this pressure sensor right here. Boom, 5,000 PSI, that's changed over. I was blabbing on earlier in the video where I'm gonna move this up one hole and then move that back bracket back there down one hole. And when I do that, that will rock the whole rear end in the car like that, right? So hopefully I can get rid of this vibration here. But the thing that it's going to do too is it's going to make the instant center height a whole inch higher. So I want to re-baseline the suspension configuration the way it is. I'm hoping that the pressure sensor has enough headroom in it that we can at least see something and make some changes and actually see something happen there. No guarantees. I'll let you know this weekend on next week's video. But yeah, so I'm going to leave this the way it is and then make those rear brackets, shift this a hole. Hopefully I can get this longer spring from Calvert so I can get some overlap that way. This particular spring on the driver's side looks like when it's sitting on the ground, it might have maybe it has a little bend in it. So I would like to verify, right? So if maybe I could get that spring to overlap back there. Maybe adding a clamp right here might help a little bit too. So like I said, I've been kind of tinkering around with chopping springs up and moving things around and doing a bunch of goofy stuff. My ultimate goal is to get a new split spring or have it made here locally, make this front segment even more robust than it currently is, make the back segment have this big arc in it like it has, but hopefully be able to get the spring rate where it needs to be, that it can produce the amount of extension travel that it does, ride as nice as it does, and 60 foot. This cart, I really needed to go 115 in 60 foot. I think something along those lines. 114 to 116, I think would be a great place on a good track, to get this car to go 760s or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of the deal. We're gonna go ahead and split this air hose back here because this car has an air compressor in it. No CO2 cylinder. I'm gonna split this. Pop this fitting out here, put a T in it. That way I can snap my airline fitting into it so I can air back tires. And we're gonna hook up I don't have the gear vendor hooked up yet. As you can see, it's got no cables on it or no wires on it, but the plan is use the drive shaft speed sensor. That's already mapped in the Holly, put a solid state relay to control the gear vendor. Now I can I need to be 30 miles an hour. and I have to have the command on for the gear vendor before it'll turn on. That way I know it's never on. If I come to a stop and totally forget about it, it'll turn it off. The other thing is I have the brake pressure sensor in the computer too. So then I can say, hey, if the brake pressure goes over 100, it turns the gear vendor off. If the drive shaft speed is below this number, turn the gear vendor off, right? So then I never hurt the gear vendor. So yeah, that's this unit right here is going to be very crucial for driving this thing to Vegas. Otherwise, it's going to be terrible. So that wraps up the update. Hopefully, there was something of value in this video. That's really my intended goal with these is education and just letting you know that you can do it too, right? Like this is a difficult sport. Not everybody's cut out for it, but if you give it a good go, you focus, get it good information. It's fun. I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid. So give me a like and a subscribe if you want. If not, that's cool too. I'll take a bunch of footage this weekend and hopefully make this car go fast. Like I would love it to go 550s with just this basic 6-liter. It already has it went 553 in Vegas. But doing it not at Irwindale, but doing this at Barona is definitely going to be as hard. I will walk the track on Saturday just to show you kind of what we're dealing with. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. We have a track right next door. I hope that it stays there until the end of time. I would love for it to get paved. I don't even know how you even start that to happen, but it is what it is. So when I do move back east, I want to be close to a really nice racetrack. So can't wait for that. Really excited, especially watching all those clips from 6 Summer just now. Like, really, man, I'm so excited to go do that with this car. Wanted to do it for so long. So, all right, I'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully I have some good data. If not, I'll still share and, we'll just go from there. So catch you guys next time.